Hello there, how are you? I am back with you. Thank you so much for those of you who joined me on our outing on the 4th. It was so awesome just to spend a few minutes with you, and I pray that yours was just as good as mine. And I got questioned. The question was, now that I know, what do I do? The young lady said that there seems to be, I'm just in a plethora of thoughts. I almost feel numb to my neutral until I don't know what to do. What do I do now that I know? What is my next move? Well, once you know, there is actions that you must take because you become responsible for the knowledge that you have. You no longer can sit passively by. You have to be more proactive in what you're doing. You must understand the moment that you're in. It is something when revelation is released to you as to your location mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, economically, spiritually. A lot of things can happen in your life, but you cannot remain neutral once you have information. Many of you have been through some terrible things, and I mean, you are in like a spinning wheel, and it's been cycles. Cycles means that you have been in a relationship for different intervals of time where there's been a continuum and you got enough time to notate. Even a season is every 3 months, and every 3 months you will notice that different things happen. There is a climate change, and within that climate change there are different variables that happen. There is hurricane season, there is tornado season, there is snow season, there is winter season. And so you will notice that each of the season requires you to do certain things. When you get in the summer requires that you take things off. In the winter, it requires that you put things on. Hello there. How are you, Alicia? Good morning to you. Glad to have you on board. Now that I know, what do I do? We want to talk about that this morning. We have some individuals who are now understanding what is going on, where they are, who they're dealing with. Some of them has escaped, and some of them has been discarded, and some of them are still locked into the premises, and they are wondering, what do I do? The mask is off. I am very now aware of what I'm dealing with. Where do I go from here? If I am still within this enslavement, if I'm still within this connection, how do I build myself up when I've been torn down so bad? Well, first of all, you can rebuild yourself if you recognize where you are positionally. Then that means that the avenue has already been set for you to rebuild, because in order for you to do something different, you have to recognize your present occurrence, your present location. And the only way that you can change is to know that change is necessary. This change is necessary in the moment of discovery. That means discovery, something was covered, and now, excuse me, now it is uncovered. And the uncovering of this information now is now the burden on your choice. Many of you that are married, excuse me, many of you that are married, you can't just leave. You have a family, but you notice that you've been in this cycle. Many of you said 5 years, 15 years, 30 years, 40 years. And this cycle has been competitive, especially I want to talk to our veterans. You've been in this situation for 30, 40 years, and it's just been a cycle. You have to interrupt a cycle. A cycle is designed as a continuum. That's why we call it a cycle, because it's circular. That means it doesn't have a rift for the flow to go out. It has a plane, and it has a directive, and it has the same continuous motion, and the same continuous motion will filtrate what has been to make sure the reoccurrence is in your life. And you have to now break that cycle. When you break that cycle, you bend that you create an opening, and this opening is for your escape. And when you get into that escape and the opening come, then you have to make a major decision as to your choice. Am I going to remain, or am I going to move? In order to move from a long term incident or a long term connection, you have to strategize. You never just get up and make a irrational move, an immediate move from a long term incident, because a long-term occurrence has laid down roots. It has laid down different things in that relationship. It has laid down patterns. It has reconstructed your mind. It has reconstructed your will. It has reconstructed your perception. The way you see things is different. It has reconstructed your strength to get more strength or less strength. It has reconstructed your environment. The people that are around you are no longer there, and other people have come. Some of you have actually went in total isolation, where it's you, the narcissist, and the family, and you've been cut off from your immediate family and even from your friends. And the only way, you're not allowed to go to school. I'm getting letters, you're not allowed to go to school. Some of you are not even permitted to work. Some of you are in a very where you are totally dominated. Everything about your time. If you leave, you have to report, and then you have to call every 5 minutes. You have to let them know where you are. Some of you have a little more liberty where you can move about a little bit more. When you have that liberty, you must exercise wisdom and wise decision within that liberty, because once you recognize that you are in a abuse factor, and this is a continuum, that means the abuse, excuse me, it's not going to discontinue. This abuse is going to continue. It has no escape pod. It has no intentions of stopping. It has no intentions of leaving. This abuse is part of the relationship. It's a part of what you call being in a relationship with the narcissist. It's on the narcissist's mind. You get out of one abusive situation only to go in to another abusive situation, because it's trauma bonding localize you into the control element, where the narcissist knows what you're doing, knows what you're thinking, and the narcissist pretty much don't have to be concerned about you. And the reason the narcissist like it that way is because when the narcissist triangulate, you are there without the will to move, without the strength to move. And a lot of times what the narcissists do, he degrade you so until who you are is diminished. You don't know who you are. You lose your self perspective. And then once you lose who you are, inside of that are your dreams. You start losing your dreams. Hello, new beginning, all the way from Australia. How are you? Thank you so much for being with me. And so we're talking about, once the mask come off, it is now it's no longer a convert situation. It's over. You know what you're dealing with. You know there's no intentions to cease the pattern that you have. You know that your body has taken years of abuse, years of trauma, mental violence, social violence, financial violence, sexual rapes, even though you're married. And many of you have been physically violated. I mean physically, and it's over and over and over and over again, until your body is saying, I can't take any more of this. I got to get out. Hello there, free spirit. How are you? Also from Australia. Boy, we have Australia in the house. That is a dream one day to go go to Australia. Welcome all of you on board of this YouTube channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. You all are making this happen, and I really, really appreciate you so much. So let's continue in our conversation of talking about once it is revealed to you what is being dealt with, you know now that you're dealing with a narcissist. You know you've got some information. You know that a narcissist does not change its ways, just like a leopard or a tiger cannot change their stripes. You know that this is the personality disorder, and the personality is the person within. They have become their own encouraged, their own culture, their own atmosphere, and they breathe atmosphere by mixing their atmosphere with you. And these breeders need to get suitors, and these suitors, which they subjugate into their presence, into their lives, is always a temporary time for a permanent, painful, damaging moment. They want the pain. Hello, Red. Greetings to you, boy. I'm telling you, hello, Red. I feel very honored that you are on board. And so, with these painful greetings into your life, and it's a greeting because many of you had your introduction years ago, until you have been so overwhelmed with constant occurrence, until you don't forget how you met. You don't forget the condition you were in when you met. You forgot what door was open, what windows were open, what gates they tore down, because narcissists look for your strength and they go after your strength. They are not afraid to overthrow your strength because that's what they look for. Many times people say they look for weaknesses. Not all narcissists look for weaknesses. They look for a way to overpower the strength of you. Not all narcissists look for people who don't have anything. No, there are narcissists who look for strong, viable, productive, successful, powerful people, and then they do illegal transference. And that illegal transference, she said, is some like the challenge of the strong. Absolutely. And they like that illegal transference because the stronger you are, this is what is going to be transferred into their life. She said, oh yes, 9 years, my body knew something was wrong, and it was not until I left my mind caught up. Now I see, this is new beginning, everything like a floodgate. You know, the older people used to say that hindsight is 2020. When you look back on things, it's really when you start to wake up. Hello, Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. You really start to look back on yesterday, and that's when things start to make sense. As long as you're in the fog, when you're riding the fog, you have to drive real slow, and your whole intensity is on that sight gate. If the fog is really thick and you can't see in front of you, you're not looking around you. She said they are attracted to some light. Let me see what she says here. They are attracted to your light and your sweetness. Yes, ma'am. They are everything they are not. That's what I'm talking about, that illegal transfers. When they enter your life and that suction cap is connected to your heart, connected to your mind, and they start to suck that fuel out of your life. Well, if you are strong, they're sucking strength. If you are successful, they're sucking success. If you are financially, how can I say, capacitated, and you are wealthy, because some narcissists are very wealthy and they seek the wealthy because they want to increase their wealth value. So if you want to increase your wealth value, you have to put wealth with wealth. She's a new beginning. That's so true. When I look back now, I'm shocked, she said, at what is clear. Yeah, you got to really focus. Okay, let me do this. just so I can stay focused. Everybody just take a look at me. Just so I can stay focused. Now, if we have too many conversations, you're going to distract me. And I don't want to be distracted. I want to make sure everything I intend to say, I need to say. Because for some people, this is a life and death situation. Hello, Damien. WBA, how are you? This is a life and death situation. We done had some of our friends that did not make it. The narcissist caused them to take their lives, and they're no longer here. The narcissist is left, but they are gone. And when they left, they felt helpless. They didn't have anybody. And by the time they discovered, it was too late. They didn't feel like they had the momentum or the energy for one more day. So their life ceased at that moment. We have the energy not for one more days, but days. We have the energy for our success. We have the energy to move forward, powerfully move forward. We have the energy to reach back for those who are struggling in the mud of life, or drowning in the water of life, or blown away in the winds of life, where hurricanes have hit their life and they're scratching and they're fighting for every single thought. There are some people, their mind is messed up. Those of you that are on this program on this morning, I applaud you, and I just take and congratulate you, because many of you have made it through some tremendous storm, and you have a lot of things that you can say and encourage each other. We want to go back and reach for those whose hands are out, that we could catch their hands and pull them up out of all of the deception and the lies and the trauma and the torture that they are going through. Hello there. Damien said, thank you for, yes, saying that to us. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. And I say that is because when we meet on this site, I found out a young lady was listening to us, and she was hearing what we were saying. If we didn't reach her, everything she had the pill, she had the gun, she had everything. She was prepared to take her life that night. And we said some things, not just myself, but your input. We said some things that gave her an opportunity to rethink things. She now is free because God allowed the narcissist to discard her. And when he hoovered her, she had been on this site long enough to gain strength where she has escaped and she's still free. So we applaud. This is why every time we come on, we are the lifeline of the people that come on. Some people come on, they never know, well, they never even heard of a narcissist. They going through the cycle. So when you say what you're going through, they are hearing what you say, and they are saying, I'm going through that. And there was nobody to talk to, or they went to a psychologist. Hello there, Michelle. Or they went to a psychologist, and the psychologist told them that it was their disillusionment that was causing these problems. That when you go to a counselor, not all counselors understand the nature or the culture of the narcissist. They study it in order to be licensed to service them, but they really have never dealt with them. So when you come with the experience, you are leaving them. Hello, Sonia, how are you? Heck now. Heck no, hello. She said, please speak in the context of a woman having a woman narc doing this to a man and children. Let me tell you something. The woman narcissist is more vicious than the male, because first of all, she's filled with emotions, and she has a tendency to be more detailed, more cunning, because she's more detailed, and because we are naturally nurturers and we are life givers, and then we have to nurture that life and assist the life in growing up. A female male narcissist is very detailed in their discovery. They're very detailed. And what they discover, they will take the components of discovery and they will nurture that to what they want. They will impregnate that to what they want. They will carry that to what they want. A woman has a womb because she's a carrier. That's what they do with all the traits that they attach to in your life. They carry it, they develop it, and they birth it. Once they carry that character trait in their life, what they have mirrored from you, and they birth the thing out, get ready for some vicious torment. I mean, they're vicious. Then they get emotional. Then they act like the weaker vessel when it's advantageous for them. But then once they get what they want, the dominion, the domination come in. They dominate your personality. They use sexual prowessness to bring you down to your knees. They withhold sex. The male and the female do that for you. But when the female does it for the man, I think it's more traumatic than the woman who goes without the male, because she's usually exercising implement in other area where sex is very, very volatile to a man, and she knows that. And first she comes in and builds everything on it. Then she slowly strips this away from you, because now it is not a part of the marriage. It is only your reward system. And she takes the children, because the children is prone to the parent that is the parent that is there. And so she take this paternal nature of hers, and she use it even with the children against their own will, because the narcissist, their whole objective is to get your will. Once they get your will, it doesn't matter what you think, it doesn't matter how successful you are, it doesn't matter what you do. They dominate the factor part of you that moves things, because your will is the mobility part of you. It gives you the tenacity. It gives you the momentum. It's the motion part of you. Once you take and own that as a master over a person, which I'm going to do a teaching, is when you go to the sales gate, and you are there at the sales gate, it goes to the auction block. It's to the highest bidder. And that's why you never ever be weary of new supply. New supply means that was the highest bidder. And they're sold at the highest price. Because every time a new supply comes in, the price get higher. You train the narcissist through relationship what to do to the other person. That's why the narcissists don't want their primary source to leave. The primary source have been broken down, bent in, beaten, trained until you're almost on automatic pilot. They know if they do this, you will respond here. They know if they say this, they can break you there. They know that once you threaten to go out, if they come back here, they always have you. But what they do is they underestimate the human will when you've had enough and you done got tired of things, and you saying, I'm leaving, I am not taking this anymore. Except when you have children, you do have to be careful with immediate exodus, because you cannot leave. That is their child. It ain't that they want them, they just know they have rights, and they will use their rights against you, because it's not a matter of being right, it's a matter of them winning. They don't care about being right, they care about winning. That's why they will win against your soul, against your tears. And when you tears, it's like this life comes up in them, this fuel start pouring into their life. The more you cry, the more you claw, the more you scratch, the more you plead, the more you beg. Red said, all things good and bad are conspiring for the greatness. She said, as I look back, he catapulted me to another level. Absolutely. Some people get stuck and the emotions never learn the lesson. That's why they go through a continuous cycle. This is why this was a good question that somebody wrote. Okay, now that I know, now what? Good morning unto you, Earth Harvester. How are you? And so now that I know what what to do. Because when you are a survivor, hello, Lynette, how are you? When you are a survivor, it doesn't matter the condition, that tenacity rise up in you. When you are a person of strength, it seems like they're hammering you down, but there's this little key that goes off into you when you get on enough pressure. You only gonna go so far. Doesn't matter what they do. You done said enough is enough. That is all of us that are here that has escaped. That's all of us that are here that's been discarded. That's all of us are here that said enough is enough. And those of you who say I've been free for a year, those of you who say I've been free for 6 months, those of you who said I've ignored every Hoover, those of you said I've been no contact for 3 months, and he's tried to Hoover me almost every other day, but I refuse to listen. Okay, we're talking about you. And when this arrives, you're gaining a new momentum psychologically, spiritually, socially, financially. Anything you lost with your mind, you can rebuild it. You got it with your mind, you can rebuild it with your mind. There's nothing impossible to you. She said, if all of us look back on our journey, even our painful and hard to deal with times, she said, we really were growing and expanding. Well, let me tell you this. And growing and expanding is a choice, because I have dealt with some cases they couldn't do without the narcissist. They could not. The narcissist had them trained, and you can't do anything with people who are until they're ready. When people get ready, they're ready. All of us here on this site were ready. We moved in position. We have a strength within us, an innate ability that God has given us. You pressure us the right way, you're going to get the strength of us. We are fighter. And sometimes we are pressed down so much until we are pressed right into our fight back. You get your fight back. Hello, new beginning. Say amen. Yes, happy 4th of July to everybody. Yeah, you get your fight back. And when you get your fight back, it is very, very vicious. Is that Ramelia? How are you? She said they do a lot of brainwashing. They have to, because if you think your original thought, they won't last so long. You got to remember when you were chosen as a primary, and we're going to deal with the different reason and the different kind of supply that the narcissists have, because some of them don't want, they got the dirty secret, they got the hidden supply, and they only want to hit it every now and then. And this supply is there when no other supply, they can't find supply. They keep this one on the shelf. They keep it hidden away, and they put it on the shelf, and they only pull it off when they need it. But they got a covenant emotionally with these different supplies for these different needs. Heck now, hello there. She's a high level of hypnosis, yes, used on men and children. Sexual promiscuity between genders. She's a harming children. Yes, she's a lying and stealing from the family, friends, and children. Yeah, they do. She said, just recently found out I was cheated on for many years. Remilia. See, now that you know, what are you going to do? When you find out your narcissist is cheating, you are at a high at risk factor. And I'm going to do another teaching on cheating, because most narcissists don't feel like they'll get a disease. And once they have been infected, they don't tell you because they think you deserve it. So they'll come and sleep with you knowing they've been infected and will not tell you. She said, left him 2 years ago. Boy, you're a smart girl. Smart, 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 smart. And so they will have sex with you knowing they have been infected. And then most of them are bisexual. They will go places you didn't think they will go. Their desires and their selfishness would drive them to forbidden places that risk you and bring you to the highest risk. She said, I did not know he was infected until I seen the antibiotics. See that now, see, you just confirming what I'm saying. You know what? They will not tell you. They will allow you they will allow you to contract what they have and then blame you for it. She said, trying to comment, not posting. I don't know why, Nancy Ray, try it again. Try posting again. Prayerfully, it will come through. But I'm telling you, once you know something about the narcissist, we know we are no longer neutral. We have to do something about it. We have to move in our power. She figured it now. It works. Sorry, no problem, no problem, princess, no problem. And so once you know the responsibility bear on you, I think what get us in problem is what we feel, because some narcissists, not all narcissists, some of them, the love making is just mind blowing. The love bombing is mind blowing, and when they lie to you and bring you into their world, it feels so good, even though you know it's a lie. She said most narcs are bisexual. Yep, they whatever they want, they get it. It doesn't matter who it's from. Some of them are pedophiles. Yeah, some are pedophiles. You know, they're pedophiles. They don't care about the children, and that's why when you start bringing children, you got to know the type of narcissist that you're dealing with, because some narcissists will raise their supply. They raise them up. Some narcissists don't raise them up. They're waiting for an opportunity to harm their own children. So you got to know when you pick that up. Grooming teenagers online. Yes, some of them don't even go online. They will groom teenagers from their own house, from their own table. And you will know when it's not right, the touch, the laughter, the look. Or if the child comes in, the child was happy, then all of a sudden you notice a character change. Deal with that. Don't let that go. Something has happened. And even if you don't want to believe it, have enough respect that your child know they can come to you. She said, did you have sex with your narc? What did he have? Well, it doesn't matter if she knew he was taking antibiotics. Then she knew something was there. She said, I knew what to look for. Yeah. And see, and so when you know, like if you think you notice your body done went through changes and you think he's cheating, and when you think he's cheating, he comes in with evidence that he's cheating. And now let me tell you something. Narcs being sexual with you doesn't mean he's not cheating. There are some narcissists that can handle 2 and 3 women or more at a time. There are some women, definitely women are dealing with several different men at a time. You just get this intuition, and then they start patterning themselves. You know, they always keep their phone. They are very protective of their phone. If you notice, a narcissist is she's Ramelia, how sick they are. Yes, they are. They are very sick. And you got to remember, when a person don't care about feelings and love, I mean, what can you put past them? Absolutely nothing. They're in on anything they want, whenever they want it, anytime they want it. New Beginning says, I believe he had chlamydia. Oh, and now I was pregnant. So far, 3 months before birth, no sex. After she was born, I was accused of having an affair. That's the way they do it. It's them. She said, how do you help rescue a father and children when the lies have been distorted, have distorted the truth? You know, there are charismatic narcissists. There are different type of narcissists. We're going to get into that, because different type of narcissists going to require that you operate a different way. What work on one narcissist will not work on another. It's just like different children with different character. What you have to do is get a strategy. If you're going to rebuild your reputation, you can't do it there, because as long as you're with them, they got an opportunity to spread more lies and to take and defamate your character, and they don't care about who it's with, because as long as it protects them, they will do it. She said, I had chlamydia. Oh yeah. And you better thank God it wasn't the incurable gonorrhea or AIDS. Now they got different things, but it doesn't take away what you go through when you contract these diseases. She said they can be jealous of the baby getting attention as the baby should. Yes, because they are not getting that attention. And they can hurt the baby based on the breed. She said, my sisters are not. She goes through men and never attaches herself. And she said, plays them like a filler. She said, I never understand why she's like that until I learn about narcissism. That's good, Red. And you probably answering some questions for some people looking at their family members. She said, been tested for everything. I'm glad that you are clear. I'm glad that you are clear of that. New Beginning say, I see. And did you get checked out? Is it okay for you? Yeah, she did get checked out. She said now she is clear. But it's some, and you who may have was very suspicious of your nut, you have to keep yourself. Make an appointment like you going to the store. Center that appointment around the store. They don't have to know how you do, what you're doing. You just have to be smart in the way you do it. But you have to keep yourself, because this disease unattended to can cause tremendous damage. And if you are the lifeline of the family, you definitely want to stay healthy. She says strategy to rescue the father and the children. What the father will have to do is understand the opportunity that God give him. You got to go legal. You got to get you a good lawyer. You got to get a lawyer that understand narcissism. And then you got to have a paper trail. Keep a paper trail. Write things down. If they call the police, if they go to the doctor, if you went to the doctor, if the children were abused, or if God keep school records, if the children are slow in performing. And there seems to be this detachment syndrome that are in the house. Because if you have children with the detachment syndrome that are with the family, they start to be suspicious, because that is a sense of abandonment with people. And so abandonment with people is neglect. So they will start to write things down and build up a file, and make sure that you go to your school and you stay on it. Talk to the children, tape conversations, and know that there are narcissists that are very smart. A lot of narcissists now have cameras in houses. They're taping what you do. They're taping what you said, especially those that are really paranoid, and they are taping everything in the house. So be very wise. So a father that has a female narcissist that need to leave, need to look for a strategy moment, need to get some counseling, need to see a legal advocate for the family. Then you can register with the courts, because that legal advocate is going to take you through a process, the process of clearing. And if you know that they're cheating, they're unfaithful, those are grounds for divorce. Abuse, physical violence, ground for divorce. If they are physically violent, that's definitely ground, but sometimes they are mentally violent. That's when you need your tape recorder. That's when you need your notebook. That's when you need to write things down. The time they left the kids and you were there with the kids all night, and may have had to been late for work because they are out on a sexual escapade and they don't care about anything. Write these things down. And when God gives you a strategy moment, a lot of times being the male, if you think right, you may be in a position of power more than what you know, in order to have some kind of force and some kind of authority in dealing with the children. This is Red. Let's see what she said. She said, there is a saying, keep your friends closer and your enemies closer. Your enemies will always tell you where their strengths are, and we've just had to listen more. They will dislike you for your strength. Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. They're telltales, because when you got a person who's braggadocious, they are bragging so much they don't understand what it is that they're giving away evidence. And then Damon said, wow, nice to hear that. And then New Beginning said, I did this at school today, got my oldest to in counseling at school. She said, an emotional development program. My daughter's school is great. They document everything for me to use in court. See, that is good. When you have that kind of backup, the court recognize evidence. And one thing we're going to talk about, and I would love your participation on this. We want to talk about the narcissists when they're using spiritualism. They're using black magic, white magic. They're using dreams. They're using mind control elements. We want to talk about that because those of you who have the narcissist that does that, you need to take authority when you go into courts because they are environmental shifters and stillers. She said, my ex, he had our daughter's photos in his files, and his friends and her friends. They are 20 years of age and also found pictures of young schoolgirls in a box that sound like pedophile. She said, Red, that's what the narc that stole my baby said to me. Keep your enemies closer. And she did. Uh, she said the trigger got to go. Peace out, ladies. All right, Nancy. And see, what happens is a lot of times when you go into a court, don't go into a court saying that you have a narcissist. The court is going to dismiss that and blame that you are trying to shift your responsibility. Stay strong and hope you heal. She will. If you stay with us, Nancy, come back on, stay with us, and allow these ladies and myself to be a conduit to your healing in Jesus' name. We love you now. She said, where is the contact information for you as this is life and death? Please do talk about the witchcraft, sexual abuse of children. Heck no, I will. I will. She said, good morning. I had a message you through Messenger and you have never responded. I had messaged you a question. Demetria, I did not get that. I responded to all of my questions. She said, thank you. So re-message that through Messenger and I will look for your name, Demetria. Re-message that. Because you got to remember, I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of emails. So please re-message me. And this is Sandra. She said, you and your spiritual daughter have made my vow to become narc-free easier. Good job. She said, I wasn't able to go cold turkey due to the Hoover. She said, but like Dr. Carmen said, you have to decide to take red or blue. Exactly. She said, I'm listening. I know my trigger and my foul mouth. I would be like to keep it clean and respectful. You can. It's out of respect for me that you would do that also. Thank you so much for that level of respect. And remember, you do not want to go back to a narcissist. Hoover is always a choice. It's always a choice. He want to know how strong you are or how weak you are. She said, you just understand you are not alone and just believe in me. I know that. I have always had a dream since I was a child. All of the narcs I attracted were really dark spirited, and I always called them out. Yes, ma'am. She's a red or the blue pill, like the Matrix. Exactly, I'm going to deal with that. After the abuse I suffered, I have let myself go because I have went through severe depression and I just need support. Demetria, we are here to support you in ways you can only imagine because our understanding is high, our experience unforgettable, and so we're now using it to help other people to bring them out. What you have went through, like Red said before, have only been there to make you stronger, to make you more powerful. So never dismiss your experience. She said, thank you. I am 9 months narc free and a big change in my life with all the support and know that I am never alone. So thank you. You are welcome, new beginning. And Miss Laney, hello. Forgive yourself is essential for healing. Forgiving yourself and forgiving the narc. Let it go. It's not worth keeping anything. They get what belongs to them. It looked like they escaped. They don't escape. It look like people do you wrong and they get more powerful. That's deception. You know that the life principle is that what you sow, you shall reap. And this does not change for anyone. She said, after all of this, since the narc, I have had a keener eye. She said, better discernment. My eyes see, my ears hear good. This is Earth's harvester. She said, my comments are really needing addressing in another format. How are you? Okay, then do me a favor. Apostle Helen at gmail.com. She said, we are here to support you. Absolutely. Apostle Helen at gmail.com. Make sure you write me. I promise you, I'll be on that immediately. I won't let it go. And she said, this is the truth, and this are not just words. This is a fact. You can and you will, you will get better. She said, I suffer from the silent treatment and how this person threw me away like trash. I had 2 weeks of no contact. Okay, 2 weeks. Okay, Demetra, you're still new at this. Of course, we'll be there. She said, of having battlefield depression, you have to gain control of your thoughts and mind. She said, is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. Ooh, that was good right there. Most people that deal with depression are brilliant. Absolutely. Give me high five, Red. I agree. She said, I found CPTSD expert in person because of Dr. Bryan. She's a homeopathic, no drugs. Yes, I'm going to float in salt. Okay. She said, love him. He is excellent. Doesn't take my insurance, but it's okay. I will be okay. Oh, it's well worth your gain. It's well worth your gain. Let's go down here. She said, seems like once you attract one, you have an onslaught of them because you got to demagnetize. She said, all back to back as if it is a spiritual attack. I have had at least 10 of them back to back in my life, and it is a horrible awakening. Alexandra got a word for you. Yeah, I got a word for you. Silent treatment is better than attacking you. Yeah, but you need an out. You need an out. You need an out. Please write me, Demetra, and I will address you. She said how to deal with a narc, mothers and family. Can they change? They don't want to change. It is not you want them to change. They don't want to change. They want to stay there. That's why I was telling you, you have to know what to do. Remember, you got to be proactive. Once you know there's something always, listen to this, there's always something to be done. Once you know you got to do this, it would never, ever be where you learn information and you can remain neutral. You will not be able to remain neutral. And the narc is going to be a narc. He's going to be the narc every day, all day, and they're not going to change. She said, I've been given the silent treatment since last year. This is the worst abuse ever, but I'm going to maintain no contact. Okay, so unless you have children, there wouldn't be any need for them. And even if you have children, everything you do is for the children's sake. You don't want conversation because the addiction, Demetria, is going to restart. She said, thank you. I will message you. And when you message, please leave me your number. Leave me your number. Oh, we're going to, let me allow God to show you a way. We made it because of a choice and support. And we want to give that to you. It may be difficult right now, but it's going to be easier with knowledge. She said, no, now that I know and have received the confirmation from God, it is clear that going no contact is key to your healing. Absolutely. Even though I still sense the Hoover's coming, I believe it is now that he's now aware that I took the red pill. Absolutely. My mother is a narc. Should I go no contact? If you have to. Sometimes you have to do it with family too. She said, Thank you. I sent you the email. I will read that email. She said, I cut the dead limbs from my family tree. Ooh, red. Boy, you know how to put it in words. She said, so I could continue to grow. Send them love. And that, she said, and that will do better. Their harsh lesson was received and learned. They are not welcome in my life. That is it in a nutshell. Another high five coming, girl. Thank you for your support. And see, there you go. I mean, what can you say about that? That's the way you do it. You got to go no contact. It doesn't matter if it's a family, it doesn't matter if it's a friend or the narc themselves. As long as it's a narc, the abuse is there. Family abuse is even more treacherous because they're more familiar with you. So, Red, a good high five. Uh, Michelle said thanks. Hey, moving on to the next one. That was answered. You don't have I don't have nothing to add to that. I'm saying that's it. You know, once you know, you go from your family. And a lot of times the family know how hard it is to let go, so they use every opportunity. Then you become an opportunist. You use every opportunity to stay clear, to stay NC, no contact. It is a no contact zone. All right. And so when you know with the narcissist, remember you got to be proactive. You got to be proactive. Like Red, if it's family, no contact. You don't want them in your life because they're going to affect your life. Whatever you're connected with, you're affected by. And if they're evil, they're wicked, they're sinister, you're going to go through that with them. It is not your lot, but they'll make it your life. She said, how do you deal with flying monkeys? My ex have made friends with my new neighbor. Oh my God. She said, and I have just moved and he has all of a sudden become buddies with them. Well, you know what that's about. I am a believer. I'm a Christian. So I use some of you on here may not be Christian. I got people that are Buddhist, so you will use a different strategy. I got people who may be Muslim. I got people who into Shintoism. And so there's a whole plethora of religion. I am a Christian, so I'm going to tell you from that perspective. Painful when family, yet I have to cut them off also. And my child's wedding supposed to be a happy day, narc acting up, narc supply acting up, and the worst family member acting up. That's crazy. She's a new beginning, girl. I'll send love and strength if you like. All right, so listen to me. Listen to me. When you are dealing with that narcissist is going to lock and load himself. So he's already started to control your environment. He started to control your environment with flying monkeys. That is a spirit. In the spirit realm, as a Christian, we can rebuke. That means to render totally ineffective and helpless through the sanctioning of the word and the authority of the word, to bind the spirit that is working and collaborating with them, because you know he's working against you. He cares nothing about them. And if he get a chance, that would be a supply, because they don't care. They don't care about being married. Being married is not enough to make a narcissist leave you alone. If they find a weakness, they are in. So what you can do is live a lifestyle, because you can't get in and out of contracts, so that your rental lease, or if you're purchasing a home. So what you do, you have to live a life that is conducive and keep him out of your life. Lies. Keep him away from you, because he will say that you're obsessed. 9 times out of 10, he'll say you're obsessed. So when you're pulling him back, it's like you can't stay away. He's doing all the hoovering, but he'll blame you for the hoover, like you're obsessed with him and he's trying to stay away from you. Stay away. And if you want to, if you feel threatened, you can ask God for wisdom, but you can get a restraining order, but you have to deliberate that there is a threat to you, and you can get a restraining order for them to keep them away. Use your spiritual means. It works. Evangeline James, she said, that's right. No contact at all. Absolutely. So you have to use your spiritual life and engage it. And engage it. And I mean vigorously engage. You cannot be passive. You have to be aggressive. This narc is aggressive. He know you are there, so he's already got them hooked to him. And so they're going to be looking at you some kind of way, like something is wrong with you, like everything is your fault. But as you go no contact, if you're a Christian, pray. Bind that spirit. Detach that spirit from your life. Detach that spirit from your situation. Render it totally ineffective. If you have children by him, if it's not about the children, don't respond. Go to court and activate a system in the legal realm that would get him off. There's no reason. Make sure they're paying child support. Put everything into motion that you can put into motion, because you can actually pressure a narc to run, because most narcs don't like pressure. They fade out, fizzle out. They run out when it's pressure time. They let you bear the pressure. So put pressure in that way, and you will find out that he's out of there. She said, I'm trying to be strong. You will be strong. You will be strong. We're here for you. I struggle with blocking the narcissist Facebook page. She said, I continue to check his page. He is flirting with other females on his page, and I'm trying to be strong. He's doing it on purpose. He know where you are. He's doing it on purpose so he can break you down. She said, I pray the neighbors will know he's full of, you know what? The neighbors will, because a narcissist is a narcissist is a narcissist. He's not going to be anything else. Pretty soon, the covert narcissist will become the overt narcissist. He will be just out there, and all his little ranting and raving that he think is hidden will not be hidden away. They will see him plainly. She said, would you speak about the reprobate spirit? Absolutely. The convert narc. And she said, I was in a situation, ship with a very, let me see, ship was the very Bible, and that made me question my initial decision. Label them a knock and remain no contact. Okay, Sandra, send me that in a different way. She said, knock roving eye at our child's wedding with his new supply. They are unchangeable. Oh, yeah, he's looking for new supply. She said, everything is a lesson to explain the soul. Even the narc is a great lesson, and we are already equipped to overcome the obstacles of the individual. She said, and has to find their strength and know unequivocally how to, she's continued to write. She's a new beginning, been in this decade. Stay your lovely self, and eventually the others will see the truth. Stay strong. Exactly. They always undress. Remember that a narc never stay dressed. They always uncover. She's a no contact. Love not checking this page. He tries to provoke you. He is provoking you. She said, strong they are within. Absolutely. She said, thank you. I'm doing everything I can. This is a new beginning with the course. Thank you. I will keep my head up and keep praying. Let me tell you something. You have survived some of the worst pain, emotional pain, will overthrows, thoughts, overthrows than people can ever imagine. Some of you have been physically violated, raped repeatedly. They don't want consensual sex. They won't take sex. They need your pain. If you consent, they don't want it. If you don't want it, they want it. And that's the way it is. The narcissists go opposite of right principles. And if you don't do something about it proactively, that would be your life. I have a female friend who always calling me a lesbian, and it hurts me, and I don't know why she calls me that way. You can't let folk bother you. You got to stop allowing people to label you. That's her label. And if you are letting it bother you, what you should ask, why does it bother you? Why does what you say bother me when I know that I know life is only 24 hours and it's 7 days a week? You got to spend your time. Now, I agree with Red. You got to do something about that mind, that mind, that mind, that mind. You put the information in the mind, it will enter your life. You got to build your mind. On one of my programs, I talk about how you build the mind. You need a regiment of books. You need a regiment of thinking processes that's going to help provoke your mind to think. So you get things that are not easy, but things that are going to challenge your mind, and you be consistent with them. You get programs that challenge your mind. You get people that are able to talk to you to stretch your mind. You need to go into the stretching mechanism, because what is common you're already used to, and it won't touch you. She said, because she is one and trying to turn you out. Yep. Absolutely. She said the flying monkey destroys your reputation to the point you can't help but to be bothered, because your entire life is damaged. Is horrible, evil. Let me tell you something. Sometimes we talk as if the narcissist is the supreme being. They have a malicious spirit that has been overthrown by our Savior. They are limited. They have to live on the goodness of other people and turn those other people vicious so they can be sustained. If a person live on evil and murderous things, they're letting you know they're limited. You don't have to live on anyone. Once you get strong, you can think your own thoughts. You can think your own goals. You have your own energy. This narcissist is codependent. Every narcissist is codependent. They're codependent on fuel. And the codependent narcissist loses itself in mirroring, because he becomes or she becomes what you are. And they constantly change with every supply and every specimen. And these supplies take and become the notation of character, culture, atmosphere of the narcissist, and you are falling in love with all of these people, all of these atmosphere, all of these mirroring, and you give credit to one narcissist. He is about 1,000 different people coming in your lane, coming in your vicinity, expressing themselves so they look like they have it all together. None of that is just them. When they triangulate, when they are using business savvy, and some of them are not intimate partners, some of them just business partners, but they always mirror. They're always setting attraction mechanism, and they are always pulling. Remember that. The narcissist does nothing on his own. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. She said the ex hurt me to the point my teeth have been falling out. She said, and I got news today. I am at the top of the list to have them fixed. Sorry, I just had to share the good news. I am so excited and able to smile again. Oh, new beginning. Bless your heart. And this is Keita. Keita said, good morning. I'm new. Subject, I've been watching all of your videos, and I've been married for 10 years and 15 together. Just seeing now that I've been married to a narc. She said, on my way out because it's too much. Yeah, 10 years of it is quite tremendous, quite tremendous. And we have some people on here that can agree, because their timeline is extensive, just like yours. She said, thanks, Pastor. They are not as tough as they think. And again, neither am I. Then again, neither am I. You are very tough. You are very tough. You are outlasting everything they put out. To me, that's really tough. She said, the ex said to me, when we split, at least you can be independent again. Like I made the choice to be dependent on him. No, he recognized who he was. And he was telling you, you're free of him. And he has no control. If you want to put it in words, that's what he just told you. He got mad because I won't put him on my bank account. Well, let him get mad. The only reason you be on my bank account is you work and you a husband. And that doesn't guarantee when you don't spend well. You don't have to be on my bank account. You got an account. Then let them be mad. Don't be pressured into making irrational financial choices. Yeah, he will totally empty your bank account with no thoughts, and all of his plans will go around your money, not his money. Speak your truth. You have swallowed your truth long enough. Oh, yeah. So let me tell you something. This is really something when we deal with this. I love the fact that we're rising up. We're rising up. We are being proactive, and we must remain proactive, especially for the younger ones who just got discarded. So you know their hormonal level is still high. They're showing sign of PTSD or PTSD, or they dealing with serious depression off the charts. And so this addiction calls the narcissist from within. Not only is the narcissist trying to hoover you or discard you, but when you are addicted, your addiction calls the narcissist, but your wisdom interrupts the call. Well, we're loosening an anointing to your wisdom to be stronger than the call of addiction. And the more you stay away from the narcissist, the lesser the addiction rise up. Clarity come, the fog leave, and you start to reposition yourself back into your normal character. When you do that, when you reposition yourself back into your normal character, you start thinking. When you start thinking, that's when the strategy comes, and then you start putting the pieces together of the past incident, and your mind make an archive, and these files are put together, and you gain strength from each file that's put together because you recognize that you have a narcissist and that he was using you, but he wasn't as strong as you thought because he still depended on what you did for his supply. She said, if I speak up about the truth, does that attract another narc? I am afraid of that. No, it'll distract them because narcissists don't want narcissistic wounds. She said, I was never allowed on his account and able to work, so I had no bank account for 7 months. New beginning. Are you clear? Are you clear? She said, I wondered that too. Yeah. Are you clear? Never, never, never join in a place that is going to devastate your future. He constantly doing the deval and discarding, also throwing temper tantrum like a 2-year-old. You sound like you have a lower narcissist. We married brothers, apparently. She said they are so the same, not very creative. Let me tell you something. This is why once you know, what are you going to do? So ask yourself, what is my next step? Don't look at life because that's a lot of steps. Just look at the moment that God gave you. What do I do now? What do I do now? When you download the now strategy, it'll keep you moving. It'll place you into motion. When you download the now strategy, she said, I'm reading these comments and all I can say is take your power back. Absolutely. That's what I'm telling them. I'm telling them to take their power back. She said, we are here for you, kidda. You can do it if a man changes his religion to marry you. Is it love or a red flag? It can very well be a red flag. Don't have to be love to change your religion. Because if you're committed to it, to me, that's a red flag. Because if you change your religion, what else can you change? You're supposed to be committed to that. And the reason you gave your life to it is because it's supposed to work unless it's some foul religion. Then you get out of it. But when you got somebody with committed issues, when you got somebody with committed things and they're not faithful to that commitment, that's showing you what they're going to do to you. Notice the pattern. She said, hello, I started questioning about the narc and reprobate spirit per your request. Please scroll up. She said, praying for wisdom and discernment in this area is a must. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Reprobate spirit is not something you spit out, because that is a process. It is a process of elimination. It is a process of overthrowing. When people have a reprobate spirit, they've been overthrowing truth and right until they have merged with their disillusionment and they are one with what's wrong and they see it as right. And so when they hear right, they no longer can comprehend it. It doesn't even register in their mind. And so their mind is numb to all truth and their mind is open to lies. So their lies become their truth and your truth become their lies, and they see it as such. So it'll take a lot more time to do that, but I pray that that help you. And a quick answer: religion is not a suit that you can put in and change. Absolutely. She said the knot can change his person according to the target of the person. Okay, here we go. She said, I've noticed the pattern. It happens at the peak of me being happy, and he does not like it when I'm happy. Of course not, because he's not happy, and he can't be happy. He don't want you to have any emotion. That's why he subtracts that emotion and transfer it over. And so he makes you angry. If you're happy, he does the opposite. And once he see that he's transferred over and you are not happy, then he's satisfied. That's fuel. She said, that's fuel. He gets fuel off of that. So, wow, you all were so loaded on this morning. You were super, super loaded. She said, yep, that's exactly how it goes. Remember that the narcissist is the opposite page of the book. The Bible, when the page said the end, they begin. When the page said begin, they end. They always go to the opposite stratagem. They do not rest with what is right, because inside of them they're void and they're empty. And no matter how they feed, it never hits bottom. It's a bottomless pit. And they have to feed off of you, off your friends, off the children. And so when you dealing with a narcissist spirit, you talking about reprobate. Reprobate is an interchangeable mind, unchangeable mind. You cannot change a reprobate mind because it sustains into a seal. And when a mind is sustained into a seal, everything you put into it is something that has already been sealed. That's the way they think. They don't want to change. They think that's why they're always into yesterday. Even if you find a cerebral narcissist that's very innovative, they still stuck into yesterday, but in business, they're in today. But they deal with you with yesterday's music, yesterday's format, yesterday's process, and yet they are innovative. They always operate with a state of confusion. When you know there's a narcissist, you have to strategize. You have to empower yourself. And the only way you empower yourself is by strengthening your mind. You got to feed your mind. Your mind is not automatically fed. You don't make a decision to be strong-minded. You make a decision to strengthen your mind. Once you strengthen your mind, you will strengthen your behavior. You will start to cause narcissistic injuries. Once you do that, when you cause narcissistic injury, those are fuel blockers. Those fuel blockers will move that narcissist. More than likely, you'll get discarded. And some narcissists go away for a week, go away for a month, or they're in the house, but they're gone. The most dangerous thing with a narcissist is not when they're ghosting you and they're fading away. They give you the silent treatment. It's when they go neutral. When they go neutral, they are planning a whirlwind that is off the charts. So they start to reserve all their energy by being quiet. They don't rave, and then they don't act like they're satisfied. They just neutral. You can't pick up on them. You wonder what's going on. They're reserving energy because they're getting ready to cause a hailstorm that is off of this world. And so you have to make up in your mind how you empower yourself. Your mind has a brain. Your mind is a brain of thoughts, and your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotion. So you have to strengthen your soul realm with things that challenge your mind to think. And the things that challenge your mind to think will constantly strengthen your mind in a thinking process. So when the narcissist start responding to you, you start coming up with strategies. You start seeing what you can do in your next move, how you can overthrow those thoughts and those behavior modes. And then you start causing narcissistic injuries. And it would be impossible not to injure that narcissist because of where you are. Even your silence, you know, if you say something, it's going to be out of order. So you go to silence, almost gray rock. And they work in some instances and it don't, because the narcissists keep pecking and pecking and pecking until they pull you out. And the person who's more effective in a neutral zone is a super empath, because before super empath goes supernova, they go to this neutral zone because they're trying to back off from hurting you. Because once they hurt you, they're going to defend themselves, but it bothers them. You got to remember what an empath is. It bothers them to hurt, even though they are hurting right, but they will do it, and they will be very vicious because they display and show the mirroring of the narcissist to the narcissist when they go supernova. When a empath goes supernova, there's no talking to them. You got to get them before they hit that zone. When they hit that zone, I mean, it's lethal. They carry out that act and they're going after their prey, and they're very focused, and they don't stop till the damage is done. Then they pull back to reprieve. So you have to make up in your mind that I'm going to strengthen myself. I'm going to strengthen myself. I'm going to strengthen my mind. I'm going to strengthen my family. Though there are some of you that may reconsider a career. You may need to reconsider a career. You may need to reconsider, unless you got a lower narcissist or lower mid-grade narcissist that is physically violent and you can't move, you can't get out. But if there's liberty you need to build where you become financial stable, you have to build yourself again. She said, I am going to strengthen my mind and my family. Absolutely. She said, you will continue to see more and more. And that's how I have been able to move forward by doing it. Absolutely. You got to take control of your mind. You got to get your power back. That is so good. You have to get your power back because you are a powerful being. And that's why the narcissist got so strong, because you turned your power over to him. You turned your power over to her. And when you turned your power over to him, when you turned your power over to her, the power that they had to do wrong with your power to do right turn gave them more power against you. Whatever you give the narcissist is going to be against you. Sometimes the narcissists take your money and use it for their new supply. Some people are complacent and need to be shaken to grow. I agree. That was a good one. Girl, that's another high five. She said, supernova is bad on everyone. I know. Yikes. She said, I have wrath of whatever that word is. And she said, will be a lady like and full of grace in court. No chopping heads off. Right. A supernova is a very power. You want to see a supernova, but they was in a religious form. Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was a super empath. That's why she can feel nations and she can cater to nations. A super empath is able to handle a massive assignment, and they are geared to handle massive emotional crisis. And God allows them because they're the humanitarians and the superhero for the underdog that is the and can get it done. I mean, get it massively done. Supernovas. But the narcissists get to supernova because they are the fuel station. I mean, they are not just one fuel tank. They're the whole station. So when you get them, you got a whole station. And so the narcissists, especially the upper narcissists, handle them better than any other narcissist. The other narcissists end up getting severely wounded by a super empath because they cannot handle the load of a super empath, and they're constantly offensive to them. So they get it. She said child support. No, he spent it on the new supply. Yeah. Usually they fight child support. Now he owes big time, of course. Of course. And what you can do, the courts automatically take these things out. Don't even give them a choice. Just take the money. And a lot of them refuse to work because they don't want to pay child support. That is really ludicrous. That's crazy. All right, my YouTube fam. Oh, I really enjoyed spending time with you, Red. It was such a privilege to have you on. Your comments was really, really awesome, off the charts. And for all of you that were on, thank you so much. And for Demetria, make sure that you write me. I'm looking for you. I'm going to go and answer that comment. Leave your number so I can get in contact with you. And let's see if you and we can probably even get a program going for you. So once again, I love you to life, and you are stronger than what you know. And the fact that you endured such atrociousness by this narcissism is only an insignia of the beauty of your strength and the mastery of your power. So now we're trying to reintroduce you to your redefined self. If you have went no contact, do not yield to any Hoover. Stay no contact. Please stay no contact. Yes, thank you very much. You are so welcome. She said, even though I made a firm decision to remain no contact, I often feel guilty for inflicting a narc. Oh, you don't feel guilty. It was necessary that you did that injury. No, don't feel guilty. That's stuff that he gave to you all the time you was with him. She's a praying for everyone and those who do not know that they are with the narc. Lots of love and support following you in your way. This is new beginning. God bless you. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thank you, Red, so much. She said, thank you, and you are a blessing. I appreciate that so much. She said, I will message and leave my number. Thank you. I am looking forward to you all. Again, I will try to be back on. Tomorrow is Friday. I will be back on Friday, and then I will come again shortly. But please check the videos. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Push the bell, and every time I come on, you will receive a fresh alert. Me and the YouTube family are definitely glad for the new subscribers and for you are here. Help is on this site with experience. We have experience, as you can see, individual that aid me in getting your freedom and to getting your strength to you every single day. Please visit the videos, listen to them, play them, enjoy them. I love you to life, and I will see you again. Thanks, my family. Love you. God bless.